Okay, so we're going to talk about emergency preparedness, and I'm going to cover fires, earthquakes, heat emergencies, okay, because we deal with all of those things here, here in our area. I was just looking at a map. Hold on, I'm going to show you a map of where they show where the most earthquakes occur. And here in California, we are in an earthquake area, the zone. We are earthquake zone out here, and we all know that earthquakes occur whenever, okay? There's not a set time that an earthquake occurs. So you guys see this here map? Okay, you guys in the back see it as well, right? Okay, so you guys see where California is right here? Where am I? Okay, California. This is California. It's all red, okay? And over here, this is the red saying that the very high, probability of earthquakes occurring. And California is all red. As you can see, it's all red. We have earthquakes all throughout California because we are on that Pacific Rim, okay? And that's where the earthquakes occur, and that they call it the Ring of Fire. And in that Ring of Fire is where you have the majority of your earthquakes. And as you can see down here in Alaska, it's part of that Ring of Fire because it's on the Pacific Ring, and also Puerto Rico. Okay, I'm trying to do this backwards. Okay, Puerto Rico as well. Okay, they have a lot of earthquakes. Okay, it's solid red. Okay, so these other places, they have earthquakes, but not as much as we do and not as intense as ours, okay? So here at work, when you're here at work and there's an earthquake, what is the main things that you should do when there's an earthquake here at work? Who can tell me?
They yelled that there was an earthquake, so I stood by the door and held onto both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and did nothing until it stopped.
Right.
And I noticed that there's like an aftershock.
Right. Anytime there's an earthquake, there will be an aftershock, okay? No doubt about it. Sometimes aftershocks are stronger than the initial earthquake, okay? So, also, one of the things that when there's an earthquake here at work, okay, if you're here at work, one of the things that you should do is if there's an earthquake, everybody has to get down, okay? I'm going to turn sideways so I can show you, okay? What you're going to do, turn my chair sideways here, is you're going to get under the table, okay? You're going to go under the table like that. You're going to put your hands, okay, put your hands behind your neck like this here, okay? Because you're covering this part of your neck. This is a vital area that you need to cover. And you're going to be under the table, and you're going to go under the table. Make sure your head is under the table. Don't turn around and stick your head out so that you can see. You want to make sure you keep your head up underneath the table so that you're protected, and keep your hands above your around your neck at the back of your neck so that it's protected as well, okay? And you stay there until the shaking stops and they say it's all clear to get from under the table. Don't just get out and start running outside the building. You can't do that, okay? That's a safety issue right there. Before you go out, okay, we need to make sure you're okay. Once the shaking has stopped, because remember, in any earthquake, there are aftershocks. And aftershocks occur sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes right after the main earthquake occurs, there's an aftershock, okay? So you can't wait, you can't just jump up and run out really fast, okay? You got to make sure it's going to be safe for you to leave because, like I said, aftershocks can sometimes be stronger than the initial earthquake. Now, once the aftershocks have gone and the building has stopped shaking and it's safe to leave, that's when we exit the building, okay? If you're here at work, you go out the nearest door, the nearest exit outside of the building, okay? If you're here in this multi-purpose room, you're going to exit out the door by the kitchen, or you can go through this door right here next to where the water fountain was, okay? Because there's the door that's right out there that goes out the building. Or you can go out the front door if the glass isn't shattered right there, okay? Because that's the nearest exit door as well, okay? If you're in the back rooms, all you need to do is go out your back doors, okay? You just go straight out the back doors if you're in the back rooms. That's your nearest exit to the outside. Once you get outside, you're going to walk, okay, away from the buildings. You make sure you stay away from the buildings. If there are power lines above, you need to walk where there's no power lines, where the power lines cannot fall and hit you or anything like that as well. Make sure that you are paying attention to the ground that you're walking on also, because the ground can open up. We don't know how strong an earthquake can be, so we don't know if it can open up the ground or anything, okay? There's areas where the ground did open up in this last earthquake we had in, I believe it was 2020. We had that last earthquake, I believe it was 2020, huh? July of 2020, huh? Yes, 4th of July, actually. The 4th of July on 2020, okay? So that was a very strong earthquake. And the aftershocks were actually stronger than the initial earthquake. And when you look at the pictures of the damage it did out in Ridgecrest, it was a lot of damage. The roads were all split open, everything. So it did quite a bit of damage because we were here. That's why we felt it so strong. Because I knew when the house started shaking, I was like, oh, wow, we got an earthquake. And I mean, it just so happens that it occurred on a day that nobody was at the job. And most of our earthquakes that, since I've been here at Desert Haven, a lot of the earthquakes have occurred on holidays. So we're not at work. So it worked out perfect. Because I think our last one, I think the last big one we had, it was on, I think Martin Luther King, that one in the 90s. I think it happened, yeah, Martin Luther King, and we weren't open, so it was great for us, you know, that nobody was here because that was a big one as well. And one place I did not want to be is inside the building next door either, because ooh, yeah, it's not, to me, it wouldn't be safe to be over there. It's a very big building and it's a lot of concrete, okay? So once you get outside, you're going to line up, you're going to walk and meet on the back side of this block wall, so that we can account for everyone, okay? That's why it's so important that we ask you where you're going. If you're going to the restroom, let your staff know where you're going at all times, okay? Because if there's an emergency, we need to be able to say, hey, we need to get this person out the bathroom. They're in the bathroom, or they're in the front, or somewhere, okay? We need to know where you are at all times, okay? For that reason, for safety reasons, okay? Now, for a fire, if there's a fire, do we get under the table for a fire?
No. We can
What do we do for a fire?
stay calm and go outside.
Stay calm and exit the building. Now, understand this, if there's a fire in this building, okay, and if the fire is in the back hallway, okay, in that back hallway, do we need to exit out this door? Right. We're going to use the door by the kitchen or the door to the front lobby, okay, to exit out. You never go inside the building if there's a fire. You never try to exit going through the building. You exit to the nearest exit going out of the building away from the fire, okay? Also, once you exit, do not run, okay? Because if you start running, you're going to trip and fall. If you trip and fall, you're going to hurt yourself. Now, you created another problem for staff to deal with because now you're injured, okay? So, if there's a fire, okay, and the fire drill goes off, the alarm goes off, you get up, don't try to grab your lunch bag, your purse, or nothing, okay? Exit this building because understand, everybody's lives matter, okay? We want to make sure that everybody exits this building safely and everything you leave in here, that doesn't matter, okay? Your life is what matters to us and our lives matter as well, okay? So we want to make sure that everybody exits this building safely and walks over to behind the block wall as we've been doing, okay, and is accounted for. So that's why it's so important that you let your supervisors know where you are at all times, okay? If you're going to the restroom, go to the restroom, come back. If you're going up to the front office to drop off paperwork, take it up there, go back. Don't go roaming around to everybody's office because if that supervisor needs to find you, they're thinking, well, I sent her to the front to drop off papers. She should be back or he should be back. But if you're wandering to everybody's office up there, that's not being safe, okay? So you need to make sure that you go do what you're supposed to do and you go straight back to your supervisor's classroom, okay? Don't wander around because that's not good. Because if an emergency arises and we have to vacate this building, now they got to look for you, okay? And then that means you could put their lives in jeopardy as well, okay? So make sure that you do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be, okay? And follow directions. Following directions is a big deal, super big deal, okay? Now, for heat disasters, okay? We've been out here in this Antelope Valley for some of you all your lives, some of us most of our lives, okay? Now, we know it gets extremely hot out here, extremely hot, okay? Extreme heat, okay? Extreme heat. See what he's doing? Drinking water. That's so important. This here is what you need to drink, okay? I'm not saying you have to drink this type of water, smart water. I'm just saying, in general, water, okay? I'm not promoting smart water. So, water. When it's extreme heat, you have to hydrate yourselves consistently, okay? Because the more you sweat, the more of your own body fluids come out, okay? The more you can become dehydrated. And when you become dehydrated, you get confused, you don't know what's going on. I mean, it's very dangerous to be dehydrated, okay? So make sure that you are drinking plenty of water as the temperatures start rising and it gets warmer out here. Make sure that you're drinking more water, okay? Even in the wintertime, it's important to drink a lot of water because it's cold, so we'd be like, I don't want to drink water. I'm not thirsty. You have to force yourself to drink water in the wintertime because you're not thirsty in the winter as you are in the summer. So in the wintertime as well, you still have to hydrate yourself a lot, okay? Now, heat-related illnesses, okay? Heat-related illnesses can be heat stroke, okay? Heat exhaustion, and that stuff is not good because when you get overheated, you have to cool your body down. You really have to cool your body down. And you get that heat exhaustion, and that's because you overheated from being out in extreme temperatures. And you have to make sure that when you're out in the heat, that you dress with light, loose clothing so that you can get air. You need to get air to your body, on your skin, so air can hit your skin. If you're sweating and the air hits your skin, it cools your body down, okay? So it's okay to sweat because that's natural. So when the air hits your body, it cools your body down because your body's wet from the sweat. So that's okay. Now, do not rely on a fan as your primary cooling device. Fans create airflow and a false sense of comfort, but do not reduce body temperature or prevent heat-related illnesses, okay? And they have cool down places here in town for people that are homeless, or just if you can't afford to run your own AC. I mean, that gets expensive as well. So we have cool down places located around town. You can go to the mall, excuse me, you can go to the libraries, okay? Um, and I mean, you go to a park, it's gonna be hot at a park. I mean, they have the swimming pools, but you ever go swimming when it's hot? You get sunburned real fast like that, especially when it's hot, okay? If you have animals, make sure that your animals are taken care of also, okay? Those of us with animals, it's a huge responsibility. We have to make sure they have water and food and that they have shade, okay? We can't just leave them in the sun. That's cruel. Don't do that, okay? If you don't have a air conditioner, go to one of the cooling spots also, okay? Just to cool down. You can take a cool shower, okay? Or bath, okay? You can do that. And like I said, wear wear light colored clothing and lightweight, not heavy stuff, okay? Like a sweatshirt and all that stuff, no. And you can wear long sleeves. Long sleeves are fine to wear because it protects your arm from the sun, okay? Now, heat stroke, the signs of that is extremely high body temperature, above 103 degrees, okay? Red, hot, and dry skin with no sweat. When you're going into a heat stroke, you're not sweating, okay? Your body is not able to produce sweat. So that means you're probably going into a heat stroke, okay? Rapid, strong pulse, dizziness, confusion, or unconsciousness, okay? And anytime someone has a medical emergency like that there, what should you do? Dial 911, okay? And also try to remember your location, where you are. If you're here at work, who can tell me the address of the job of here? What's the address here? Right, Scott, should call 911. And the address here is 43439 Copeland Circle, okay? Lancaster, California, 93535. You guys should remember that. It's very easy. 43439. Okay? Not hard at all. 43439. Okay? So always know where you are at all times, okay? In case there's an emergency, you can let someone know where you're located. Your location means a lot. If you're using your cell phone, make sure that your GPS locator is turned on so that they can locate you from your cell phone as well, okay? That's very important. I mean, I always keep my locator on. You never know when something may happen. And if you get in an accident or whatever, and you can say you call 911 and you can't talk, they can locate you from your GPS signal where you are located, okay, from your phone. So I always leave my locator on, so because I want them to find me. I'm not hiding from nobody, okay? So that's a heat stroke. Heat cramps is muscles, pains, or spasm in the stomach, arms, or legs, okay? Those are heat cramps. So that means, you got to, plenty of this, people, plenty of it, okay? Plenty of it. Because in the summertime, we sweat and we get rid of a lot of our fluids in our body, okay? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this hour, okay?